another interesting sub-segment under PSL, right? We talk about nano entrepreneurs. Anil, good you brought that up. You know, I was spent a lot of time with the ex-chairman of SIDBI, and it's also good to see someone like SIDBI also really talk about and highlight and focus on saying we need interoperable networks like Oaken to be able to drive even access to credit to these nano entrepreneurs, these gig workers that we are seeing take up shape in our economy. And amongst that, of course, is our women entrepreneurs. Riddhi, you have to come in. Tell us a little bit about the business, how you all have evolved as a platform for women, and where are the differentiated areas that these nano entrepreneurs, these women entrepreneurs, these micro industries really need access to credit and capital.
Thank you, Bhavik. So it's really an interesting conversation. I think we've touched on some amazing points. So I'm going to just take one step back. Firstly, priority sector lending, right? We think it's underpenetrated, obviously, and it can create huge impact. MSMEs, like we discussed, in number are huge, and the employment it gives is huge, right? That's why it's priority sector. But this perception is also there that it's a niche sector. So whenever we talk about women entrepreneurs, or opening up credit to this sector, people are like, oh, it's great you're servicing that niche sector. It's not a niche sector. 50% of this country is women, and the other 50% is given birth to by them.
No, sorry, I have to humor this because I'm sure Deepak has heard it. I keep hearing a lot. You know, we keep getting investors asking us, "Tumhara TAM kya hai?" And we're like, credit and TAM and MSME and women.
Exactly.
I think.
Exactly, right? So there's obviously huge scale, huge impact. It's not a low-hanging fruit, because in lending there's mainly two things, right? One is getting a person to come borrow from you, and second is getting them to pay you back, right? And women are not part of traditional platforms or even modern platforms. Of course, they're not going to banks because they're scared to take loans. They don't know how to apply for loans. Even the newer digital platforms, though we are 50% of the population, increasingly working, increasingly homepreneurs, gig workers, we're not going and taking loans, right? And that's because they come with a very different mindset, different socio-economic conditioning that needs a different approach to first get them to apply for loans, right? And that's where a Lakshmi, so we run a financial app called Lakshmi for Women. And we started as an Ask, Learn, Invest platform, a wealth tech platform. But increasingly women came and told us, we love what you're building, we trust you, we want to do everything here. We want to borrow on your platform, we want to do banking, payments, everything. And that's how we've evolved into a banking, like into a rather money app for women, right? And the first is getting them to come and be comfortable taking a loan. There's a lot of fear, right? So generally when women are taking their co-borrowers, when they come as a co-signee because the man is not getting a loan, and we all know they're great borrowers, they pay back. There are no NPAs, they're very disciplined, you know, in every actually aspect of money, they're great savers. So that's where Lakshmi comes in. We're a platform that is attracting women to come in, right? What we also do is then tell them why actually taking a loan is important. Generally, there's like, a credit card is great, it's a sign of prestige, but you've taken a loan, oh gosh, it's negative. Especially women have this fear. So what we say is, no, actually it helps you build a credit score. So it's not necessarily a negative thing. So we try and rework firstly that socio-economic conditioning in a platform where women already are feeling safe, already trust us, right? So that's one area where I think Lakshmi and platforms that are catering to women and their unique needs help. The second thing is actually understanding, one is that ability to pay, in understanding whether you'll get your money back. One is ability to pay, second is intention to pay, right? Women, whether they have the ability to pay or not, will pay you back. It's just they have that fear, they have that innate discipline. So how do we understand that intention to pay and convert it to what a regulated entity needs, right? And that's where platforms like us help, right? So intention to pay, everyone knows women will pay, they're very disciplined, all of that. But they might not show the ability to pay on paper, right? That's when alternative data on platforms like us comes in. What are the blogs they're reading? What are the live sessions they're doing? What is the learning they have? Do they have mutual funds? How disciplined they are in their SIP payments, right? So there's a lot of alternative behavioral data that we can use. Like we said earlier, there was only kitna salary aa raha hai. Now we're looking at account aggregator. Luckily, we've got GST. In the middle, there was social media, which I always question. But something like how good they are at investments, how well are they planning for their children's education. So we have to enable loans, and a lot of women, when they become homepreneurs, when they start these businesses, it's actually to improve their family situation, it's to earn enough to be able to give their child the best education, right? So if we enable credit for them, we're improving their business, but we're also improving the entire family's standard of living and the economic opportunity they're going to get over the next generation, right? So using alternative forms of data that women have, that would not be a GST, but would actually be how disciplined she is in her savings and investments and FDs, for example, is what platform for us enable credits for the women's sector.